Hey everybody, Smokey here. Pleasure to see y'all today. Today we're going to be doing a couple of different topics here, but our main topic is going to be coil building. But before we get into coil building, the first thing that I want to talk about is something I saw on UVG earlier. Was something about I'm just getting into vaping and I want to buy some stuff to blow some awesome clouds and everything like that. Okay, so I got problems with that post. If you're just getting into vaping, you need to do something we call research. Okay, this is what you call an 18650 battery. All right, this not a little bitty battery. It ain't a few inches tall. Not that big around. I can whoop your ass. All right, that's just all I'm gonna say about that. That battery right there can whoop your ass. So you need to be careful about what you're doing, because if you don't know what you're doing and you start doing these ridiculous builds, you're going to blow some shit up and possibly blow your hand up or your face up or something like that. So that's the first thing I wanted to go over is do your research, guys. There's so many websites out there that can teach you about these things, learning about Ohm's Law, learning about, what kind of builds to run, this, that, and the other is a very, very crucial thing when getting into vaping, unless you're doing like an EVOD pin in a little tank or something like that. But when you start wanting to blow these awesome clouds and you're starting to mess with your ohms and everything like that, is something that you really need to focus on and pay attention to, or else you're going to get hurt, or you're going to hurt somebody else. And the last thing I want to do is be standing next to you and you have some shit blow up. It's going to piss me off. So it's something that everybody just needs to sit back, do a little research on, and think about and get it going. But alright, well, enough about lecturing about safety, even though safety is a good priority here. Someone's been asking questions. Hold on, my tablet just died on me. There we go. Someone's asked a question about coil building, so that's what we're going to go over today. Go away. Okay. So, what do we need to build coils? Yeah, I'm talking to it like that, like we're beginners here. This is going to be a long video just to give y'all a little warning. Alright, well, the first little things we're going to need tools. We're going to need some wire snips, we're going to need some flatteners to pinch the coils, and, whatever other kind of tools you want to bring to the table with you. Next thing we're going to need, you ain't got to have an elaborate set like I do, but I do got one, is screwdrivers. Big and small, all sizes of all ages. And then, of course, the next thing we're going to need here is wire. Now, everybody is different on a personal preference of what kind of wire you like. Okay? I personally like thicker wire. I mostly roll 22 gauge on all my builds. So it's a personal preference, and I haven't even opened that 22 gauge. It's okay. So we're not going to use that one. That's a brand new 22 gauge. I don't need it because I know I got one that's already opened here somewhere. That's a 24 gauge. I don't need that one either, but whatever size gauge you get, that's 27 gauge. That's a nice last damn one. It's got to be damn 22 I need. I'll be damn, there it is. Alright, what I'm going to be running is Canthal A1 22 gauge. That's what I usually run on almost pretty much all. The reason why I got other wires because, somebody wants to. It's like bumming cigarettes, When I smoked, I always carried a pack of shitty cigarettes on me. Someone's like, hey man, let me bum a cigarette off of you. Yeah, it cost me $1 a pack. Here's a cigarette, So, and I usually carry wire for other people too. It's a very nice thing to do. Alright, so one of the biggest things that you're going to need to have, we're going to turn the camera, is Vapor's Toolbox. This is on Android. I'm not sure if it's on iOS or not, but you need it. If you ain't got it, you need to get it. So here we're going to move mod out the way here. We're going to be running Canthal A1. We're going to go for a dual, and we're going to want a 22 gauge wire, and I want a resistance. There we go. I want a resistance of about let's do 0.1. No, let's do 0.2. That should give me a 4 wrap, 5 wrap, 6 wrap. 6 wrap, that's good. Make sure my core diameter here is a 3mm, as we're going to be using a 3mm screwdriver here, so that's exactly what we need. We're going 3mm. And we see we got a 6.5 wrap on our coils, and that's good enough, so we'll go for a 0.2 resistance here. Alright. So after you got all that done, then, it also tells you need to cut your wire 3 and a little over ½ inches, 3 5/8. So it's over 3.5 inches. But we're in I don't ever measure my stuff, so sorry, mod's like all up in the way. So I just, take some wire like that. Yeah, that's good enough. Now, one trick I'm gonna teach y'all, because I know everybody loves cutting wire and making it go flying across the room, right? You're not a true coil builder until you step on some wire and damn carpet, when you go in at 2 o'clock in the morning to go take a piss and you're barefooted. That sucks. If you take your clippers, if you got clippers like I got, these little bitty ones, and you move that wire all the way to the bottom. Here's in the camera. See, it's all the way in the bottom. And you just catch it where it's just on the bottom part of the pliers, and you squeeze, it doesn't pop it. What it does do, is if you can see in the camera here, it crimps it. You see that crimp right there? So all you gotta do is just move it like that, and it just pops right off. So now we have our wire right there. That's a good thing for y'all to learn to do, especially if you have wives or anything like that, and she starts bitching at you. There's wire all over the floor, and you're like, yes, baby, because he ain't gonna talk back to her. Because I know y'all ain't gonna talk back to her. She whoop your ass, you talk back to her. So it's a good little trick for y'all to learn, just to learn how to crimp, and then it pops right off so easy for you. Remember, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all this: while you're doing this, always keep a good grip on the wire that's wrapped around the spool. Some people will agree with me here that's had to do it before. There ain't no feeling in the world like ordering 100 foot of 22 gauge wire, or this is a 30 foot. This one's 30 foot. But there ain't no feeling like getting 30 foot, 15 foot, 100 foot, 20 foot, whatever, and having that damn thing unspool on you all over the floor. It sucks. Alright, so after we got our wire cut, and here's our beautiful wire here, I'm going to try to keep this video under 20 minutes, guys, but it's gonna run kind of long, so I'm just warning you now. So now we got our wire cut, we are going to run dual coil, so we're going to have 2 of those. Now I'm going to grab a 3.0 millimeter. That's flathead. Yeah, that's flathead screwdriver. Now, one thing that I do that a lot of people don't do, and I watch a lot of people build coils, and I think I'm just like an oddball or something, I always take my wire, and I take about a ½ inch or so like that, maybe close to 3/4 of an inch, and I bend that down into a 90-degree angle. All right, so there's your finished wire right there. Now, why do I do that? It's a good question. Because when I take my screwdriver, I always just set it right on top right there, so I can hold it like this, and it's already started to go around like that. So then basically all you got to do is get you a good grip. Now you can use pliers, some people do. I personally don't. But if you use pliers, just grab it on the bottom right there just like that. Get you a good grip, and then you can spin it. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. We'll do it with pliers for the first one. We got 1, and then you got 2, and then that's why I don't like using these. Then you got 3, and then you got 4, and you got 5. See, everybody can count to 5, right? Okay. Good. Make sure it's tight. That's how you do it with some pliers. I personally don't like using pliers. I like using my hand. So then after we get the coil on there, now we're going to tighten it up real quick just to make sure it's good and tight. We don't want to lose coil. And we're going to fix any flaws that we may have in the coil. Now see, just from where it's coming up, let me flatten that out so I don't poke myself with it and scream and go, ow, it hurt. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now we have our coil built. You see we got a little bit of frazzle-dazzle in it, whatever the hell you want to call that. Got a little gap. So I'm going to flatten that gap out just a little bit by grabbing it just like this with these pliers and pushing it down. Now, just because you have a gap, don't let yourself down. It happens to everybody. I don't care how badass the coil builder you are. You're going to have gaps and everything like that. So we're just going to lightly press it down. We don't want to press it down too much or it'll overlap. So we don't want that. Then I'm going to grab my other pliers here. And I'm going to grab this long one. And I'm going to spin it around about halfway to get it good and make sure it's tight. That way when I snip it and I pull it back like this, it's going to come up flat for me to go in the coils. Okay? Alright. Now we're just going to go ahead and pop that one off our screwdriver and set it off to the side. We're going to grab our next one. Again, I do my 90. You don't have to do the 90. That's just something I picked up along the way building coils. Alright, now one thing that I don't have on me right now that you're going to need, and y'all are probably already screaming it by now. See, and that's what happens when I don't use pliers. See, that's all by hand right there. Granted, that's going to be pulled up right there, but that's all by hand. Come on, focus, camera, damn it. Poke the camera to focus. Okay, remember, that ain't going to focus anyway. So that's what happens when I do it by hand. Like I said, I don't like using pliers. I've done it my whole life. My whole life. You look at me like I've been vaping since I was fucking in the womb. I've done it my whole vaping career by hand, so I don't really like doing it any other means. So we're going to straighten up these ends right here so I don't prick myself, because if I prick myself, I start cussing and I get all mad. I'm going to flatten it out right there, make sure we're good. That's a good looking coil. And then grab this one right here, spin it around about halfway. There we go. Okay, flatten that piece back out. Alright, so now we have our two coils. Now, the reason I've been stopping and vaping is to try to dry these coils out. I just built these coils last night. Okay, so anyway, oh, that's starting to dry. Yeah, I like that. So as I was saying about, on our topic earlier of, safe vaping, man, everybody's looking out for your safety. At least you should be. Everybody should be looking out for each other's safety when doing this. And I guess now, since I'm waiting on this to kind of dry out right here and everything like that, I guess it's a good time to talk about what I'll be doing. Well, everybody knows about the Monster RDA. I did post an update picture earlier about the RDA, about the sled that's going into the box. So I know everybody's looking forward to that, and I am as well. Still waiting on parts to come in, USPS. But another thing that me and a buddy are about to start doing is, since I've been building boxes and starting to make juices and everything like that, we're going to open up a Walmart shop, so to speak, of box mods and juices. We want to bring people good stuff at a cheap price, but it's not pulling us. Me and my buddy, we both have great jobs. So it's not like that we need to, charge people an arm and a leg for boxes. So we're wanting to bring people boxes, and of course it's all, MOSFETs, 3034 MOSFETs, 15K resistors, basic 18650 series of parallel, whichever, people prefer. V4 510s, low profiles, and regulars. We want to bring these to you cheap. So we're looking at probably about $50 to $60 fully built and sent out. It's probably going to be close to about 55 to 60, so that's free shipping's included with that. So that's one thing we're going to do. And we're also going to be, I've already mass ordered a lot of VG and a lot of flavors and everything like that. So we're going to be pushing out some juices and everything very, very cheap. We're going to try to keep it as cheap as we can with the juice, just for the sheer fact of we want people to enjoy vaping without blowing their wallets. We're not like Dice. You don't need to have a $5,000 gaming PC to play Battlefield 4. So that's what we're in the process of doing. I guess I can give y'all an update on that. We do already have a name for the company. I'm not going to say the name yet, but just know that we do have a name for it already, and I like the name. So we are going to be purchasing an LLC through the state of Texas pretty soon, upcoming week or so, after we get all of our parts in and start building everything. So that's y'all's good little update there. So now I got my coils already shortened up, so we're good to go on that. I'm keeping all my wire together so I don't drop any on the floor. Alright. So now I'm going to need napkins, because I don't want to get juice all over the damn table from taking these cottons off. So we're going to get some napkins here. And, ain't nothing like the smell of good burning cotton. Oh, that's another thing we're going to need is cotton, yeah. Probably should have said that earlier, just in case you're sitting there building along with me and you're like, cotton, who the hell needs cotton? Alright, well, I'm going to try to shorten this video up a little much, so we're gonna bust through this next part right here. Alright, let me take these coils out real quick. Now, one thing, when you're dealing with this is a Dark Horse mod, so it's only got 3 posts. So that means 2 of them are going to go into the same middle post. Okay? Now, when you're building into these posts right here, you want both the wires that come through this middle post to be sitting on the very bottom together. You don't want them stacked up side by side. You want them side by side. You don't want to stack them on top of each other, side by side, so that screw can push them down flush together, or you'll have problems about firing evenly and firing together. And that goes on your quad post. If you have quad posts and you run like 8 coils or anything like that, anytime the 2 wires are going into the same hole, you want to make sure they're side by side so the screw can push down evenly on them. Alright, so we got our coils out now. And we're going to clean out our juice well real good. Just because, you know, I like keeping my stuff halfway clean. You know, while I'm doing it. Alright, so now we're ready to do it. Now, a lot of people try to put these in by hand. You know, just sticking them in there with their fingers. I don't personally like doing that. I like taking my screwdriver. Not that screwdriver, because that's the one I got to use to tighten it down with another damn screwdriver. Lost my screwdriver. Oh, I didn't. I'll put it back up. That's why I lost it. See, if you always put your shit back up, you know where it's at. So I take my screwdriver here. And I need to flatten that right there because that's not flat. Alright. Now we take our screwdriver here to push it in. Makes life simple for you, you know. Everybody likes unless it falls off like it just did on me. But usually it makes life simple. We'll just put it that way. Alright. Simple life. There we go. Alright, we're in. Now I don't always push mine all the way to the center, but I do get it a little bit off to the center a little bit. So we're going to tighten down that right screw. Right there. Make sure we're good. Make sure that we're flat, the wire's flat, because that way it don't move. Move the wire a little bit, make sure it's flat, and we're going to tighten that up. Alright, then we're going to finagle it so it's just a little bit centered. There we go. Now our next coil, we're going to go in from the other side. And this is a very basic, easy build. This is mainly for beginners. Now, if you're just getting into clouds and you're getting into your RDAs and you're wanting to learn, oh yeah, you know what? One thing I want to do before I did that, snip off these pieces right here. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Good, good, good. Make sure that's tight. There we are. Okay, beautiful. So yeah, like I was saying, this is more for beginners. To let y'all kind of see what goes into building coils, or if you ain't even started building coils yet and you just, you know, and you're interested in it and you want to learn more about it, well, this video is a good video for you to start learning on building your own coils. Alright, see that one is going to push off to the side, and I don't need to. There we go, just like that. So you try to keep your wires to the bottom. Because you don't want, when your screw comes out, let me see if I can give you a good example because I can't really zoom in on that. Say this is your screw, okay, and it's going down in your hole. You want your wire to be down on the bottom of it. You don't want it to pop up onto the side or anything like that because then your screw's not tightening all the way down and it's not getting a good connection. So you're going to want it on the bottom of that. So that's a good one right there. And then we're good here. We're good there. We're going to go ahead and tighten that center post. Make sure both wires are on the bottom. They are a perfect match on the bottom. There we go. We'll tighten that one up. And then we're going to straighten our coils out a little bit. See, that one's still a little loose right there. We need to move it a little bit over right there. And just, there we go. It moved on us, so now we can tighten that up right there. We're going to snip off the excess because we don't need that. Oh, we got 2 minutes left in this video. 2 minutes. We going to make it? Oop, that one on the floor. Uh-oh. All good. We'll make it work. All right. All we got to do left now is wick and heat. So we should be good. I like raising my coils up a little bit, and this is where it really boils down to, you know, finagling with it and everything. You know, you finagle with it and see what you like. All right. So now we're going to heat the coils up. I'm gonna go over all three to make sure it's all still good and tight. All three are tight. You know, because, you know, you tight screws are good screws. Alright, so now we're just going to start heating all three of them. See, we're heating them up. Okay, one's burning up. Now, as they're hot, you're going to take some flatteners. And, you know, give them coils a good pinch. Alright, and what this does is this compresses the metal. And see, as you're heating this metal up, you're strengthening the metal. You know, that's what they do when they build stuff out of metal. They heat it up real good. And then they heat it up real good and it strengthens your metal. So heating your metal is a good thing. So let me try to get that one before it cools off. There we go. Now you want them burning evenly. You want it when you press the button, they're all lighting up at the same time. That way you burn evenly and you vape evenly. See, look at that. That's beautiful. We'll let them cool off, and this video is about to end, guys. I just hit my 20-minute mark. I know. I'm sorry. So, but one more. Here we go. We're going to go over wicking in the next video. Hit the button. And that one's still going a little bit quicker than the other one. I don't like that. So it's all about pinching them and getting them down and getting them good. And ready? Here we go. Let's see. Look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Get that one just a little bit of a pinch because it didn't go all the way to the side. Alright, here we go. Last one, guys. It should be beautiful. Oh, well, shit. By the way, so you let them cool all the way back down because when you compress it, it cools the coil down. So if this coil's still hot and you compress this coil is going to heat up faster than that one. Just so y'all know that, alright? Alright, let's see how she looks. And that looks beautiful to me, guys. Alright, sorry this is a 21-minute video, but I hope everybody learned anything. And here's our finished product, guys. It's 5 wrap 22 gauge. That is our finished product. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. There's the holes for it. We'll go over wicking in our next video. My name is Smokey. I appreciate y'all staying tuned for the whole video. If you stay tuned to it all, y'all be safe out there and vape on, my friends.